Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm working on kind of getting my stream set up before we go live, so let me know if you hear anything that's a little bit odd or off. Um, but otherwise, we'll just kind of really get. Oh, you can't hear me? Okay. So you don't hear the microphone at the moment when I'm talking. Is that the issue since then? Because I want to make sure we're using. Oh, cool. Diocles can hear me, so that's really good. So I think it sounds a little bit weird. How does it sound weird? Like it sounds like sound like kind of mechanical, or do appreciate you helping me get this set up. Um, just because I have been tweaking a lot of settings lately, trying to get things smooth out. All right, mechanical. Okay, so let me see what might be causing that, so that I can get that fixed up. Echoey and distorted. Gotcha. All right. I'm going to go ahead and tweak some settings. I'm going to click a real pack to the starting screen real quick just while I get those adjusted, and then we'll see how that works. Sorry for the delay on that. So I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get this mechanical distortion fixed real quick. Okay, I'm back now. Let me know if that has fixed any of the issues we were experiencing. You said the volume was a bit low and that there's an issue with it sounding mechanical. I did some adjustments. All right, so that fixed everything. That's really good. I think what happened, there's just a couple things I had to adjust. I moved from, I was using Twitch Studio when I first started doing this, and then I decided to move over to doing um, Streamlabs OBS. And Streamlabs OBS, obviously, I'm still getting it set up. It has a lot more power to it. I know standard OBS probably has even more power than that. So I wanted to kind of play with it tonight, make sure everything was set up. Also, still do a little bit of like storytelling and talking and things like that as I kind of got some of my settings adjusted. I really do appreciate people bearing with me here at the start of the stream to do that. I noticed there's a couple different things I need to still fix. Like I have my test widget down there. It still has all the test donations going through it and things like that. So I want to get that fixed. And now chat's not feeding over here to our chat box like it's supposed to. So there's just a couple more things I want to tweak. I won't mess with them too long. Just if I can get them fixed up, then I think that'd be ideal. Oh, thanks for subscribing, Cynthia. I really appreciate that. So cool. And you get your little first badge too for being one of the first 10 people to subscribe. So that's really awesome. Oh, cool. It looks like I got the chat fixed, and that's actually coming through as well now. So our chat's working. It's a little squished, and obviously that's something I'll mess with later. I don't want to dink with it too much right now while we're streaming, but I just wanted to get a see for how that kind of looked, and then go ahead and get the kind of the ticker real quick fixed up so it's not scrolling things it doesn't need to be scrolling at people. So I'm going to do that real quick. But how is everybody doing tonight? Thank you so much for tuning in. This kind of impromptu, relatively last minute stream I decided to do. So just one little thing. Go Streamlabs real quick. Get that set up. Thanks for the compliment on the graphic. Yeah, all these are preset stuff you can just do in Streamlabs itself. So I was taking advantage of some of the tools they had. I'm going to be doing a little work. When LARP storytelling, I want to look more LARPy and things like that. Oh, been working on your story. That's really cool. I'm glad you got some of that work done today and stuff like that. It's really, really neat to be able to get some of that done. I've been obviously really mostly focused on, outside of just other tasks I need to do, been focusing a lot on getting the stream set up nicely, getting it so it looks really decent, just kind of really doing some overall improvements. I just want to like make things look as nice as possible for when people tune in. I'm eventually gonna get some of these set up sooner than later. Morning, Betta Welsh. Get some of these set up so like when I'm doing storytelling, the setup here looks more like actual like storytelling related and things like that, so I can switch between them. I think it's probably a little busy right now, but I really wanted to play and learn um, Streamlabs the best I could, and then eventually move over to using true OBS instead of Streamlabs. But I figured starting with Streamlabs, since I already used them for quite a number of things, was kind of the best way to go. I'm going to go ahead and just take the ticker off our screen though for now until I can get that worked out. I don't want to be distracting with a bunch of fake goals and things like that are not really things that are going on. Been working on tweaking your settings too. Yeah, it's really cool. Like there's a lot you can do. I've been watching a lot of different streamers getting ideas and things like that, and there's definitely a lot you can do with the settings. Yeah, really minimal. I'm probably gonna go back to a more minimalist type situation once um, I get things set up. That way I can do basically storytelling with a little more flavor and flair and stuff like that for just chatting, but for games keep it kind of more minimalist. I think I see a lot of streamers keep it minimal, even a lot of big streamers, and I think that's key. People aren't necessarily tuning in to see all the busy work, but I would like it for like when we're doing talk shows, neurodiversity, doing storytelling, doing live action role playing stuff. Get it looking a lot more like a talk show and something like that, versus when we're just doing games and just chatting, keeping it more minimal. So, but the big thing is I wanted to have that start screen that we started with tonight, mainly because I just think it's nice. There's a couple things I like to do at the start of stream and getting that going so it's going live on time. So I have that extra seconds with my stream deck to get things going is really good. Special emotes, um, since you are a subscriber, they start with locked have, and then that should give you uh, access to the emote that you just unlocked by subscribing. As far as I know, since you did subscribe, and I did set custom emotes that I had made. But it could be that there's something off about how I set it. Yeah, they don't seem to be coming through when I'm looking for them myself. I can take a look at my Twitch settings really quick and see if that's what's going on, see if I missed something there. Again, I don't want to take up too much of the stream, obviously just going through and editing things, but I do appreciate people bearing with me because I do want it to be easily accessible and nice going forward. I also will work on my gain so you guys don't have to deal with the clicky clackies going forward. Right now I'm using my headset microphone. I have a lot still to do on my Blue microphone, but I do have a nice microphone, the Blue X, that I will be working to get set up. So going forward, hopefully starting tomorrow, it'll be set up so we have clearer audio, much nicer, crisper audio, more control over that, as well as getting the gain and things like that set up so you don't have to hear the click clacks of the keyboard. That's true. They do need to be approved first, and that's what I was thinking. Is they might just be still in the approval process. That's what I was really checking. Boop. Updated the stream info a little bit, and then yeah, we'll just take a look under preferences. Go to emotes. I think it looks like all of them are in there. And so yeah, I don't know how long it takes to approve. I just updated all of that the other day. So if it takes like a few days, then it's going to be a bit before the emotes kick in. What I can do is, and what I'd like to do is kind of share those here over on the stream. So I'll bring those pictures up so people can at least see what the different emotes that we got from hitting affiliate look like and things like that. So just one moment while I pull those up, we should be able to, we can get a kind of a nice little preview of what we have in store for subscribers and just to be able to use in the channel. So the main one, the one that everybody gets if they subscribe, and you're going to see the Fiverr in the background because I'm just showing the background. And I use Fiverr, and anybody who hasn't used um, Fiverr for things, I've actually had a lot of great luck finding amazing artists who really work with you to find what you're looking for. So if you don't have artists or don't do the art yourself, I would really, really recommend um, Fiverr. So this one is the first one. It's one because I like to sing, obviously, while what I'm doing. We have this singing emote that tier one subscribers will get access to, and then other images. Like we also have a hype or cheer emote. So same thing. Artist did a really good job capturing what I wanted. So we have like a cheer, and that's right now because when you first get to affiliate, for those of you who might not know, you are given access to 3 emotes, but one is for tier 2 subscriptions and one is for tier 3 subscriptions. And so what I'll be doing as we go forward, as we unlock more emotes, is getting the new ones and cycling them in and getting these cycled down to, all tier 1 subscribers going forward. And then the last one we got is a Hard Eyes one. And so we got, those are kind of the 3 emotes that we went with for our initial batch of emotes, and then I have some others that we'll be working on. So if we do unlock further subscriber goals down the line, we just keep the emotes fresh and keep getting more. And they're not all going to just be of me. I did do the initial ones of me. Yeah. Thanks, Minerva. I really really appreciate the feedback. Yeah. So as far as they go, these are the initial ones, and they're of me. I figured that's how I wanted to start because I have a lot of artwork I've gotten done, for the channel, for me personally. So using those to start with, I thought would be really kind of a nice touch, and then we'll get other things. I really like to refer to people who watch the show and enjoy the content as loctopuses because I love an octopus. So I'm thinking a lot of what we do emoji wise is going to be octopus related. And then just you can see them without subscribing. So I'm just going to kind of show one of the subscriber badges I got done because I'm just really happy with how they turned out. Again, I used, um, oops, that is not what I meant to do. We used Fiverr, and again, the artists on Fiverr have been tremendous as far as providing just exactly what I wanted for the channel. And it's such a great resource, I think, for people once they get affiliated. Um, so I'll just show see this big guy here. This is our 6 month. Like if you've been a subscriber for 6 months, this is the one you unlock. The reason I'm showing it is this is what I would consider to be the Loctopus. It is a cyberpunk octopus, which is exactly how I view all of you, is wonderful cybernetic octopuses, or cyberpunk creature of your choice, however you identify. Um, thanks. Yeah, they came out really well. Like I said, I we'll go ahead and I'm going to make sure that I'll put links in the VOD. And actually, I'll pull up the links now just because I want to give credit where credit is due to the the Fiverr artists who went out of their way to make these. So I'm just going to provide links to their stores just because I think it's nice to give a shout out to people who work so hard on things. So this one is the person who did the emojis for me, and then this next one is the one who did the the badges. Let me get that pulled up real quick. So yeah, these are the person who did my badges. So if you're an affiliate, or even if you're not an affiliate, if you're just looking for like Discord emojis, and that's the other cool thing is all the emojis, since our Discord is linked to the Twitch channel, all those emojis are available in the Discord to be used. And I believe the way Discord's set up is if you have unlocked emojis, you can use them elsewhere. I know if you unlock Twitch streamers emojis from one stream, you can use them in other streams and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of a lot of the artwork I got done recently and stuff just to improve the channel. And that's what the stream is about tonight, is wanting to test a few of those features and things, talk to some people also, and just kind of I took a few days off to set things up after getting affiliate, but also just I had some downtime away from streaming. And so the big focus is obviously you have to be a subscriber to get those things I showed, but I'm really happy to be an affiliate, less for the ability to get bits and less for the ability to get, yeah, downtime's really important, sent that, and less for the ability to get um, money. That's really cool. It's great that people can show their support, and I'm really always appreciative of it. But the big thing is obviously we've unlocked chat points, which I haven't had a chance to set other than the stock ones that come. But with chat points, it lets people earn points just by chatting, just by being involved with the streams. So I'm going to add some really fun things there. And that's really the biggest thing I was looking forward to getting affiliate, was more ways to interact with chat, more ways to interact with the Loctopuses. And that's going to let me add some really cool point things. And then I'm also looking at different games and different things that you can use points on. Bits too, but again, I want to make sure we're as interactive as humanly possible, even though, for people who aren't subscribing and people who don't want to be subscribers, like people, I want to make sure it's really enjoyable for all the Loctopuses, whether you subscribe or not. So that's a lot of things I'm looking into, getting the bots all set up. Yeah, you get that's awesome. Yeah, so the stock stuff is all in there, and you can obviously spend points on that. I'm happy to do all the stuff that those points say, but I'm gonna add stuff because obviously I have a Macho Man Randy Savage costume, and I would be happy to stream and cut promos as some of those point goals and things like that. I'm definitely going to do things with bits. Like I said, I want to make everything as interactive as possible. Right now, though, because like bits and subscriptions, they require money. We're still a really small channel. My goal is really enhancing as much of the stuff you can do without that, but I'm going to add stuff you can do with bits and stuff, so people who support it also get um, the ability to get little fun things with that. But mostly I'm going to first get the point stuff set up, then I'll add in stuff that you can do with the bits. I want to get some playlist stuff, get interactivity with the chat so you guys can control the music and things like that. Really just kind of add more layers of interacting while we do things on the stream, because that's really, in my opinion, what it's all about. That's why I really got into things, is to have a way to interact with people and grow a community and share what I love doing and entertain people, as well as play games and stuff like that. Yeah, so many layers. And I think that's, yeah, every all the streams I watch, they have a lot of layers like an onion, um, and the old Shrek adage, and even the smaller ones. And so I want to make sure we're putting in that effort. People who are taking, there's only so many hours in a day, only so much, and if people are giving up some of that time to be here, I want to make sure it's the best experience for everyone who's actually stopping by the stream and having a good time. So definitely going to be kicking things up. I am still going to keep tweaking my camera settings. Really dark, obviously, in the background now. Getting my microphone set up in a way that it also looks and sounds better. So, then again, just kind of chatting about the day before we kind of do a few stories is earlier today for Amped Guard. And anybody in the chat who doesn't know what Amped Guard is one of the various LARPs. Amped Guard has a focus on foam combat, and kind of light on the role play, although the role play is definitely still there and a big part of it. But just like everything else, it's growing. It's trying to become more inclusive. It's trying to become more diverse. And anybody who's tuned into the channel before knows the big thing I'm about is diversity inclusion, but specifically neurodiversity and in gaming, how it benefits people with neurodiversity, the positive impact gaming has, increasing the kind of openness of gaming spaces for people who are neurodivergent, and that applies to video games, to board games. There's a charity we'll be raising money for who really focuses on learning and teaching through board games, tabletop RPGs, and LARP is one of those. And I was asked today, because the host unfortunately had things come up, if I could host a neurodiversity in Amped Guard chat. So for the LARP, we got to take some really long-term players who are neurodivergent, who talked about playing the game with autism, ADHD like myself, and things like that. And it was really cool to host it and see one of the areas I'm involved in opening those doors, because one of the things about being a gamer, a LARPer who has ADHD, who is neurodivergent, is it's always viewed as a disability or as something to be overcome. And a big part of neurodiversity is teaching people it's not something I have to overcome. It's a part of who I am. And it's about being able to teach people, you know, that having all these different viewpoints, neurotypical viewpoints, autistic viewpoints, ADHD viewpoints, depression, like all these things, having those viewpoints and letting them influence how we grow will only make us grow stronger together, through gaming, in this case, LARP. So it was really cool to be able to host that and start opening some of those doors in something that I'm very passionate about. Just like hopefully over time we can do that here. I intend to definitely do more of the kind of ADHD and neurodivergent talks that we had the other night. A lot of people seem to enjoy those, and I really want to let people get their stories out there and just kind of start opening up the space for awareness, because there's so many people who are neurodivergent, and I want people to realize that their viewpoints are critical, to the growth of gaming, just as anyone else's is. So that's kind of been really off the stream, one of the things I've been working on, but it really relates back to what we're going to be doing with the stream in terms of just being open about it. Obviously, we're still going to do a lot of MMO gameplay and a lot of stuff. It's just something that'll be talked about. It's not all going to be like talking about ADHD, but it will be, make just normalizing it, which I just think is really critical, like I said, and important. So, because on the platform here on stream, I found a lot of neurodivergent streamers who are very open about it, and I think getting, like I said, those voices even more around is really cool and going to be really eye-opening. Another thing, just kind of mention the stream before I get into a story is did get affiliate. Obviously, we're talking about some of those affiliate bonuses, but the big thing with the affiliate bonuses that's going to be happening, uh, or getting affiliated that I'm going to be doing, not the bonuses, is on Tuesday. I'm going to kind of do a celebration. I'm going to do a longer stream, something less just talking and more playing games with everybody, just really doing some giveaways and things like that. I don't mind like giving out like some cool shirts with some of our cool octopus designs on it, giving out some game cards and things like that. I just want to celebrate that because it was such an accomplishment to get to a point with their support to be affiliated, just to unlock those things that I want to kind of give back. So Tuesday, I am back to my day job, my career as of next week. So we're looking about doing the celebration probably 7 p.m. I'm going to say 7 p.m. on Tuesday Pacific time. So, and starting tonight after I get off stream, there will be a schedule up. We're going to be doing MMO Mondays still. Tuesday's special, but we're going to have a schedule that way people know when to tune in and things like that. Is that a red tiger emoji sent then? So that's a really cool emoji. So yeah, let's go ahead and hype tiger. You can be any type of tiger you want. There's a person in LARP. His name goes by many names. The name I know him as is Melee Moses, and he is the most enthusiastic person you will ever meet in the world. And when I was feeling down, he told me, um, when it comes to LARP and it comes to life, you just need to be a tiger. You can be any color of tiger you want. White tiger, yellow tiger, blue tiger, plaid tiger. You just got to be a tiger. Just remember, you are a tiger. And I've always taken that advice to heart and to always want to be a tiger. So the next thing, I just want to definitely tell a story this evening. Maybe play a little bit of games depending on how people are feeling. But the story I want to tell tonight, it's off the cuff. It's not our normal storytelling day, but LARP stories. Set the stage for this LARP story. I just kind of set the overtune of like what the world was like in Amtgard at the time. And when I speak about Amtgard and I speak about the LARP at this time, I'm speaking about the region that is Oregon and Washington in the United States. At this time, it was split into two warring kingdoms and a bunch of outlands who had to swear fealty to one or the other, but really weren't represented. And there's a kingdom of Mystic Seas in the heart of Oregon, Portland, Oregon, and there was the Kingdom of the Valley of Silver Rain spread all throughout. And they had a conflict of government. One believed the government system should be static, meaning if you wanted to rule, if you wanted to govern, if you wanted to get high accomplishments, be a knight, you should be putting in the effort to travel to them. And the other way of thinking was what was called a floating crown. And that was the kingdom represents everybody, more like a council. And while there was a monarch, it was anybody could rule from any land throughout. Anybody could become a knight from any land throughout without the expectation that you go to one specific land, as long as you're going to major functions and showing your abilities at a kingdom level. For those who don't play Amtgard, um, in the end of things, there are still two kingdoms who are static. In the end of things, it did win out that a floating crown structure better represents the people. And that's now, if you come to Amtgard, if you come to play the LARP, that's what that's what you'll experience, that ability to govern from anywhere. But at this time, there was a lot of warring going on, and even further, um, in Longview, in what now is known as the Mithril Hills, at the time was the Dark Valley, there was internal fractures happening. At one point, the Dark Valley, home of villainy and piracy, but also deep, deep, rich mithril mines, uh, was massive. It was a duchy. It was a sprawling metropolis of people, of ideas, of fresh takes. It was almost an Athens. But the thing with Amtgard is lands rise and they fall. And without proper care, cracks can happen. One such crack happened with Sir Galen of Devonshire. Now, Galen of Devonshire was one of the founding six of the Dark Valley. But in this time frame, it had really fallen. It had become a land that people didn't want to. It was toxic. If you came there, you had to clutch your coin purses, you had to buckle on your gear, and you were in and out as fast as you could because the people who played there, well, they were downright nasty. This was not the land that Galen had formed. Now, Galen was a dwarf from deep beneath the mountains, well traveled in the world. He was a burly man, if I had to define him as a shape, it would be a square with rough edges. He had a large flowing white beard, much like Santa Claus, but unlike Santa Claus, he carried with him a large maul, a massive hammer of mithril and bone. This was a dwarf who had slain dragons, who'd been a monarch, who'd been a king, who had founded lands. But here he saw this land he had founded dipped so low. He tried as he could to rebuild, but for any step he took forward to build, there were those there to burn it down. If he planted crops, people would salt the earth. If he built a building, they would crack it down. Anything he did just wasn't being met with any form of resolve. So, with tears in his eyes, he took but a few followers who still clung to hopes of the glory days of Dark Valley, and he set across the land. And he found nearby, nestled in all this destruction, protected from the destruction of the outside world, what Galen found was the Bonmont Glen. The Bonmont Glen, which also means the perfect glen, had everything he needed to start his new society, and it also was well protected from the evil and the villainy that had ransacked Dark Valley. And so he staked his flag, he staked his claim, and he put his entire reputation on the line to begin to build here in the perfect glen. Over time, they were harassed. Many raids would engage. There's many times that Galen was left bloody and almost defeated, but just barely headed off the raiders that came from Dark Valley. And as raiders are wont to do when there's no gold left to snatch and nothing left to pillage, they had all spread out and moved on and left our lands. And this is when Galen took out his hammer and begun to build. Now, Galen knew how to build, but he knew the faults last time when he built were not just in the structures that he thought so sound, but in the structures and connections of people. Much like a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, a land proved to be only strong as its least care-forward person. So, slowly he built the Mithril Hills. Every new person that came, he talked to, he got their ideas. He didn't just let this be a dwarven stronghold that he would protect. He let it be a land of free ideas and of self-involvement. And as it grew and grew, walls were constructed of mithril. There were squirrels throughout, but they preserved life. They didn't slay life. So squirrels were revered here. Statues were erected of squirrels, representing the ability to survive a long winter by storing away, which is exactly what Galen had done. He had stored away all his goodwill and survived the winter of the Dark Valley Bandits to begin to be able to once again grow now in the summer. And he built and he built, and people came and their ideas added. Towers were erected. Magic users, wizards interacted freely with clerics and divine casters. Warriors taught other warriors. People started to come up from all around again. People from the north, all the way as far to the tipping north at the time as Inland Ocean would visit. People as far south as the southern tip of the time Iron Keep would visit. But before where they would find weakness and fault. They only found a strong land where they were also listened to. And it was due to listening to the people, it was due to working together, it was due to the community that Mithril Hills rose bigger than it had ever been. At its height, once again, a bustling metropolis, but this time not one that was governed by fear and whoever was the strongest, but one that was governed by free thinking ideas, where even a peasant farmer was represented as much as the strongest, burliest archduke, such as Galen. And I'd love to say the wall stood forever, and I'd love to say my story ends in pristine happiness, but unfortunately, all civilizations that rise do eventually fall. And while Mithra Hills did not fall quite to the level it did when it was Dark Valley, it is definitely on harder times. The truth there, however, there is that the foundation still stands. Galen is still there, guiding, and while it has fallen to disrepair and only the smallest of villages still is bustling, we all know that one day, like the phoenix, which is the governing symbol, the highest divine being within the realms of Amtgard, they will be able to rise. And they'll rise because Dark Valley's foundation was soot and mud and washed away easily. And even when it's at its lowest point now, it will be able to rise again because the foundation is strong. So I do appreciate you hearing that story. The reason I told that story of rising and falling civilizations of Galen of Devonshire is he is still one of my biggest inspirations, um, not in LARP, but also in life. He is somebody who overcomes adversity after adversity and does not let it define and destroy who he is. But it's also important to think about foundations and community. And I told it because we are building the community here on the channel and on Discord. And the reason I wanted to bring that up is we're small right now, and it's easy when you're a smaller channel, um, even if you stay a smaller channel, which is also perfectly fine, to kind of get lost in the weeds of looking on the horizon, trying to figure out where, how to get big. Um, but I want to build foundations, and I want to know that if it's always just a few people tuning in, that it is a place that is open to everybody, that I'm listening to everybody to grow it, even though at the end of the day, it's my channel. It's, everybody who tunes in, it's their community. There's no streamer, no content creator, no creative without the people that, support them by taking time out of their days to listen and to watch. So we're going to work on building our own foundations, much as Galen did in the Mithril Hills with the Loctopuses, so that the channel becomes what everybody wants it to be and what we know it can be, and is something that is special. To that effect, I don't want to make people give a bunch of feedback in chat while we're on, but I will be adding like a suggestion box down in the panels on the channel. Because I'd love to hear when people, if you like things, if you don't like things, if things worked, if they didn't work, if there's things you'd like to see. I'd actually really like to hear it. And I know what's wonderful about Twitch is communities are super vocal. And well, I'm not going to change the core values or core what we're going for with the channel, because I can't change the core of what I am. I can definitely make sure the channel that we shape is, guided by the people and what they're enjoying. And so we can make it the strongest it can be. Definitely LARP stories will continue to be a part of it, or even non-LARP stories, because I love to tell tales, and I think it's storytelling is fun, and that's why I want to get a chat interface set up here in the future for storytelling. It's a little more like a tavern or a campfire. Get that feel to it, and maybe work on getting the chat so it pops up in a way that looks like chat bubbles coming from patrons. I don't know. I have some ideas for that, but definitely want to work on that as far as the channel goes. Tomorrow is going to be MMO Monday. Like I said, we're going to be playing Elder Scrolls Online. We did play a little bit. I'm not sure if it's still going out of New World. It was really fun, but we really want to, like, Tamriel's our home, just like Mithril Hills is our home. So that's going to be part of it tomorrow. Also, I went ahead because I have it on PS4 and paid for a year outright of Plus, which gives me access to the DLC, but also gives me a bunch of crowns, which I normally don't buy. So for the stream tomorrow, we'll be doing a unboxing just so I can see what we get. And I think it'd be a little fun to open chests and see exactly how rare things are because loot crates not my favorite thing. They're kind of I'd rather just be like this costs this many points. Go ahead and buy it if once you earn this many points. And I'm fine with cosmetic additions to a certain extent as long as you can get them without having to pay also at least some of them. But with loot crates, I want to try to just use my the crown points they give me to open as many as possible to give people kind of maybe a really you can find videos about it, but really clear kind of conception of how cool and how cool it isn't. Because I found with Elder Scrolls, even though it is monetized gambling, the percentages seem to be quite a bit better to actually get cool things. And they have methods besides lucking out to get cool things. I kind of want to show that off, but also just be open and honest for anybody who's thinking about getting crown points and crown crates in ESO, what those rarities actually look like in play. And just kind of getting an idea of a feel for the people who are here. What kind of music do you like? Like obviously I'm trying to keep music that's with the stream. I have a lot of stuff that's royalty free, like on my opening screen that's um, cyberpunk and synthwave, and I got some fantasy stuff, but I want to make sure that whatever player we're using that's going to let people recommend tracks with channel points or bits or whatever the case may be, that it's songs that you want to recommend. I might just use Pretzel Rocks, which has a preset thing, but there are some others out there that I have to kind of set up the royalty free playlist for. Rap, hip hop, it's cool. I can definitely throw some of that in. I generally like every type of music and want people to be able to hear what they want to hear and change the tone up by changing the music up. Used to be one of those people who said, I like every music type but country. And then I realized I just don't like bro country. I don't like horrible, like, you know, I'm a bro and I have a truck and I'm going to sing about things that are derogatory and country, racism, which isn't country. Like I love Orville Peck, and I don't know if anybody's listened to Orville Peck, but he is like Americana, old like Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton style country, and I've realized I love country. So Minerva's a pop princess. Don't worry, there'll be a lot of pop music. I am also huge into pop music. I've been listening to a lot of Tay Tay again, a lot of Tay Swift. Yeah. And again, I'm not taking away anything about people who like honky tonk or anybody who likes bro country. It's just there's subgenres of things. Like I love most metal. I'm not big into a really good friend of mine is into more of the like scream death metal, like black metal, and I can listen to it just like I can listen to bro country, but that's not my thing. I'm more of like a melodic metal like Ghost or speed metal like Dragon Force. So but the real point is wanting to keep our music's kind of varied up and stuff on the channel. And I see Theracles there said OXT. OXT is a band rapper. I believe it might just be our friend, but I think it might be him and a partner. Um, and I don't know if he's still making music, but I will contact him because if he is willing, then I would happily play his track. I think it was called Warrior. I don't have it in front of me, but it's actually a really, really dope track um, that that he put out. So yeah, it's good. That's why I want to go ahead and play it. No, I know you're memeing Theracles. I could tell that because it's obviously our friend's hip hop outfit, but at the same time, I really like that track they put out. So even if it never makes more music, it'll with permission find a little home here on the stream. I think because I think people should hear it. I would like more people to hear it because it's a really good track. So gonna kind of real quick for people who didn't see it, just kind of go through the scenes I currently have set up, just kind of show them off real quick. So we have our start screen here. Um, so yeah, so this one has some music going, starting. We're not doing gameplay today, but tomorrow I already have it set up for MMO Monday. So we got a little more um, of a minimalist setup here for this one. And that way we'll be able to see the gameplay a lot better. I did a frame right now because I don't have really the greatest lighting for my green screen where I'm set up to cut myself out. So, but I tried to make sure we kept a lot of the screen available for MMO Monday. Um, keep it a little more minimal. I like to show, latest donator, subscriber, and follower, but otherwise keep it pretty low key unless there's stuff to put on screen that is really applicable to the game. Like when we're doing the Fall Guys, I do have a crown counter I'd throw on the screen or something like that, but otherwise trying to keep it a little less busy and then a little more like we've been doing graphical for the just chatting screens. Like I said, we'll get some set up for the podcasts for the storytelling that are a little less synthwave cyberpunk. But yeah, that's really the that. So with that, I'll keep talking for a little bit, but we're going to be ending the stream. This was just kind of a short late night thing. So I really appreciate again everybody. Like I'm surprised. I thought just one or two people. I'm really surprised so many people came out. It's really makes me feel really good. And I'm thank you so much for um, coming out here for the stream tonight. So thank you so much for watching. And then something really neat I found in Streamlabs that I want to that should work. I didn't get it set up quite yet, so I want to test it before y'all go. Is let's go ahead and roll them. So I have credits, and that way I know I'm going to call people out while they do it. But thanks for supporting the stream. Thanks for subbing, Synthad. And that's going to show anybody who followed, anybody who subscribed, donated bits, donated through the donations thing once that's set up, donated to charity. Anything we do will kind of be there. That was obviously really short, but I thought the idea of having a little credits at the end of a stream would be fun. So again, thanks for coming out for a small stream. Appreciate all you Loctopuses a lot. Go ahead and click the links below if you want to. If you're not already, jump on the Discord. We're not talking a ton on there, but we're starting to talk more and more on there, and it's a great way to stay in touch with everybody between channels and or between streams. And I'm going to start getting more and more people followed who do similar stuff to what we do, whether it's Elder Scrolls Online, MMOs, storytelling, stuff like that. So that if you ever stop by the channel when I'm not streaming, hopefully it'll be a way to find some streamers who do similar stuff, other neurodivergent streamers, especially. Peace.